My brothers and sisters, you are now watching the Gamer 2323, so just forget about the chores you're supposed to do. Put your feet up, get your Kool-Aid, fried chicken, popcorn, get whatever you may need! And I hope you enjoy the video. Alrighty, peoples. How y'all Sunday going today? Hope y'all suckers is having a great Sunday out there. A wholesome Sunday, even. I just beat Control yesterday. Literally just beat my 2019 game of the year. Let me stop. Trolling already, by the way. You know, at first I wasn't going to review it, you know, but I had put on my Twitter if you guys want me to do a review. There's a lot of people out there that still have interest in this game but have not gotten the game because, you know, of the somewhat mixed reviews out there. But I think this game is currently at an 84 on Metacritic. But it's currently at like an 84 on Metacritic, I think, you know. So it's not like the scores out there are like bad, you know, but, you know, people out there are still on the fence when it comes to Control. And this was one of, I wouldn't say most anticipated games, because that means like I'm really waiting for this game. I wasn't on Control like that, but just with the previews and trailers we saw, this junk was giving me PsyOps the Mindgate conspiracy vibes. And anyone who has played that game knows exactly why I was excited to play this. I was getting those same vibes. I'm seeing powers and all this like telekinetic stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, I wanted to play that game. I know people, you know, were saying that, you know, Sony should buy Remedy and all that different stuff like that. And then, you know, with Control out and stuff, I'm like, pump the brakes, sucker. Pump the goddamn brakes, you know, just because they bought Insomniac. Now, suckers are saying that they should go out and buy a Remedy. I'm like, hold on, sucker, hold on. Pause. You know, but all that and more. Control. Is it worth the 60 bones, my brothers and sisters? Let's find out. So, pretty much, the story in this... I'm literally trying to think, like, is this what the game was about? You know, but pretty much my conclusion of what the story in Control was about. The game revolves around the FBC, which I think stands for the Federal Bureau of Control, which is like this secret government agency out there that's doing studies and research on like supernatural, you know, supernatural phenomena out there, you know. So from stuff like telekinetic type things, you know, telekinesis, astral planes, you know, stuff that goes against the laws of reality. Right. And you know, you're playing as this chick named Jessie Faden, you know, and she's the director of the FBC, and they say that a lot, like, she's the director, and like, we need to find the director. Are you the director? She's the director. And I'm just like, okay. The way they throw you into this story, you don't really know what's going on, you know, and it's kind of just like they throw you in and stuff has really already went to hell. The enemy in this game, which are called the Hiss, hold up. I actually like have to like go back and think about like what happened. The enemy in this game, which is called the Hiss, you know, they kind of literally, and it started just like this. They said, but the way it plays out. But when the story first starts, it's just like, hey, we have this enemy out there called the Hiss. We don't really know what happened. They just showed up in the building one day and started infecting suckers. Fix it. That's literally, I'm like, So there's no like backstory to these. Like literally, I kid you not. I think one of the characters even said that. Like, yeah, we don't know how they got here. They just appeared one day, and we need your help. It's just like, okay, So, but yeah, so it like the whole story in this game is like it's all revolving around pretty much white people trying to, mess with stuff that they're not supposed to mess with. and stuff goes wrong. That's how it happens in real life. That's how it happens in video games, okay? White suckers is trying to do studies and research on things they have no business messing with. And of course, things go wrong. I think that's what the story in this game is about. And here's the thing. Again, this is a game that has that Remedy stench to it. Now, stench doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. I know when you hear stench, you just hear, oh, like he must smell or she must smell. No. It's nothing like that. It's just, this is a game from Remedy. Because I remember when I was playing, well, not even Quantum Break, but especially Alan Wake. Like, Alan Wake, a lot of people didn't. I actually enjoyed that game, for the most part. But even in that game, like, the story was kind of like, oh, okay, but I liked the gameplay, for it. So it is no different in Control. Like, a lot in this story, you're like constantly trying to find out what's really going on. And one thing I hate that they do, and I feel like this happens in all of, again, Remedy stench. I'm gonna use that word I'm gonna use that phrase so many times in this video. Remedy stench. Okay? Because this is almost every game that they have recently done. They do this same thing that I don't really like how they do. The story is already kind of like confusing enough, and you're like trying to like tie in what exactly is going on. But what makes it even worse is you find out, like, you get more and more information that you should find out through playing the story through the collectibles. And I have no issue with, like, I like, games that have backstory and lore, and like you collect, stuff, and then it like, you find out more, about like the backstory and lore type stuff. But in this game, in almost every recent game from these bastards, they do this thing to where they have so many collectibles that you can find and pick up. And there's so much reading. In order to do the stuff that they do, where you have to find a whole bunch of collectibles and read this stuff to actually, like, make the story more clear to you, to bring clarity to the storyline, and you're, like, finding, there's so many collectibles in this game that you actually, I feel like, have to read to, like, to learn more about the hiss. Like, really, the most of the stuff that I learned from the hiss in this game all came from reading the collectibles. It doesn't come from actual dialogue in the storyline. It's you going out of your way, actually reading all of the collectibles that you find. If you do that, you can do that because, again, I have no issue with like with having backstory and lore in my games. If the game is actually that good. And I think that's where Control kind of falls short. The story, at least in my opinion, in Control, it's not all that good to be having suckers find all these freaking thousands of collectibles and try to figure out the story through, reading all of this junk. That's where I felt like the story in Control kind of fell a little short, at least for me. So yeah, my camera about to run out of camera about to run out of battery. Don't worry, I got an extra. But pretty much yes, like that's in my opinion, because I had to stop. My frick, bro. If anyone has not came to my Twitch stream so far, and like you're like a wholesome type person, you don't always like complain about stuff and like always like nitpicking stuff. I need to like get, how can I say this nicely without like offending people? I need to get the niggas out from my community. There's no other way to say it. I need to get the blacks out of my Twitch community because these suckers, bro. Lord have mercy. These suck, bro. It literally seems like my Twitch community that I love oh so much. These suckers will hype every single game. And then when it comes out and I start to stream it on launch day, they will switch up in an instant and be like, bro, this shit ass, bro. You gotta switch games. you gotta get on something else. I'll be like, sucking, the game just dropped. So pretty much, long story short, that's how it went for Control. That's how it went for Control. Control was not the best, wasn't the best game to stream. Let's just say that. If you're going to have people reading that much, your story has to be heat from the get-go. And that's not what Control is to me. It also doesn't help that the characters in this story, I wasn't feeling none of it. I wasn't engaged into any of the characters, from the protagonist Jesse to her brother that they try to like force you to care about. I didn't give a damn about Dylan in this turn. I'm like, why should I care about this dude? I really did it. You know, from who else they had? A Marshall, Dr. Darling, Trench, like just the characters that they had in this storyline. The story was already kind of, you know, hard enough to like really, you know, get engaged into, but it's harder when really none of the characters, like they just hold really no weight. Jesse, you know, and another thing I did not like that was constantly going on in the storyline with the protagonist Jesse is she's constantly talking. Like, at first I didn't know what was going on. I'm like, why are they doing that? That is so annoying. Because like during gameplay and during cutscenes, like, you know, Jesse will like be talking to someone, and then like the camera will go on her face and it like appears like she's talking to herself in her head, and they do that so much. I'm like, oh my god, why are you doing? Why are you keep doing? I thought the jump was annoying, but then you find out that, you know, it's this spirit that she's talking to that has, you know, kind of been following her since her childhood, you know. So she's not talking to herself, she's really talking to the spirit that's with her. But it's just the way they do it, it kind of kills like the dialogue. It just kind of messes up, you know, like the dialogue that's going on, you know, between, you know, the conversation that's being had, you know. And I actually thought the way it ended, I was like, yo, that was actually kind of cool. Like the way, again, there's I'm not trying to like completely because I don't know if I'm coming across like I'm bashing this game, but I'm trying not to come across that way. There's some parts about this story that I liked. Like, I liked the way the game ended. Like, whoa, the way the game ended. I liked the way the game ended. It was like, yo, that's how it ended? And then they just played the credits, and I'm like, wow, you know. But then there's a epilogue. I wouldn't even know if it's I guess it's kind of like a epilogue after the credits, and then you really see what happens and stuff like that, and there's more gameplay and stuff. So yeah, man, I just feel with games from this developer, if they continue to do games like this, I just feel like I look at games from Remedy like almost like niche titles. Like, some people love games from them, and some people, they like, man, this shit ass. I don't feel like playing this game. You know, for some people it's a hit, for some people it's a miss, you know. And if you've played a Remedy game before, you kind of know what to expect from Control. Now, the gameplay, for me at least, is what really kept me playing this game. It's really what kept me playing this game, especially in the meantime while I was playing Astral Chain on that Switch. Yeah, it was hard to stay with Control, you know, but the gameplay is where I feel like Control shines, is where I feel like, you know, they actually hit the nail on the head with. I know I've seen people comparing The gameplay in Control compared to the gameplay in Quantum Break. I don't really remember everything about Quantum Break and how the gameplay was, because that was back in 2016. And after I beat that game, I literally sold my Xbox right after. I was like, all right, I'm done. And I got rid of my Xbox, But I remember what made the gameplay in Quantum Break so, cool and fun to play was, how you could use the whole time thing and like slow down time while still fighting, in the game and stuff like that. So it made it, unique. What makes it fun in Control is, you have all these different types of powers and stuff like that from the from the telekinesis, the launch power as they call it in this game. Once you start to unlock all these different powers, I feel like the gameplay really starts to open up and shine, in this game. That's really where I feel like Control is good. The gameplay, you cannot deny. The gameplay in Control, at least to me, is really where the game is solid. I loved playing the game. I love the sound effect when you use your launch power. Like, the sound effect that they got on that junk is just so cool to me. I never got tired. It was like, and then you like, that was wrong. That junk was lit. I like that as you're unlocking powers, it gets better. You will have to go to the astral plane and then like find these objects of power, as they call them, and I guess they're corrupted. So you have to go to like an object and then like cleanse it. And once you do that, that's how you get a new power. And I think there's like 4 or 5, maybe 6 powers in this game and stuff like that. But once you unlock the powers, the gameplay really starts to get good. And the gunplay is not that bad. The gunplay is solid in this game as well. There's only one weapon in this game, but the way they do it is cool. So you only have a pistol, but you can upgrade that pistol. You could get points, to like upgrade your skills and stuff like that, from your health to the amount of like power like bar you have, before your bar runs out and stuff like that, from your shield, like from the shield powers to the launch powers to like all the different types of powers you got combined with the gunplay. And then with the gun, there's only a pistol, but like the pistol like manifests into like a shotgun and like a machine gun and stuff like that. So you can have like 2 mods of the pistol equipped, but it's only a pistol. But if you want to change to like the machine gun version or like the shotgun version, you press square. And there's no reload button in the game, which I thought, was cool. So it's like but at the same time, you can't just spam shooting. It's like, I guess there's like a energy meter on like the gun or something like that. So once that meter runs out, then your gun has to like it has to recharge before you can shoot again. The frame rate issues in this game. Now it doesn't really happen. This is going to be very weird, what I'm about to say. It doesn't really happen during the gameplay. I mean, it does, when like there's a lot of action going on the screen and like you're using your powers and you're being shot at and you're shooting, stuff like that. And like when the music's cranking and stuff like that, you will see some frame rate, dips during gameplay. But the main times you see frame rate drops in this game consistently, every time, is when you pause and unpause this game. I don't know why. I don't know how. I don't know how this happened, but when you pause this game and then unpause it to go back to playing the game, you will experience frame rate drops every time. I tested it. I literally sat for like 10 minutes pausing and unpausing the game. Pausing and unpausing the game. Pausing and unpausing the game. Every time you do that and you start playing the game for at least 3 to 4 seconds, you are going to experience scale-bound tear frame. Scale-bound tear fused with Microsoft PowerPoint presentation frame rate drops. I don't know why it does that. I don't know if it's having a hard time trying to like load up the game, but it's during a pause menu. I don't know why it's like that. I thought they would have put out a patch for that junk, but it happens every single time, and it's quite annoying. It's quite annoying. I don't think it matters if you on base PS4 or PS4 Pro. I'm playing this junk on PS4 Pro, and it's still horrible for me. So I can just imagine it on base PS4. But yeah, that's definitely a issue that I think might you might want to address, remedy. The game also has side missions in the game, and like they call it countermeasures and stuff like that. But sometimes like it'll just appear on the screen. So like while you're like doing whatever in like the storyline, you're doing a mission, like a new alert will appear on the screen. It's kind of like a side mission that like you could do and like go out of your way. The puzzles in this game, you do come across some puzzles as well. One puzzle is really I think this is really the only puzzle I was like, okay, this is really cool. This is really lit. Like I think it's called the Ashtray Maze. The Ashtray Maze. And it's like this maze that you have to get through. If you've played Control, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because it was like one of the most lit portions of this damn game. Like that part was fire. I love the way they did that, the way they had the music playing in the background. You're trying to find your way through the maze while this music is cranking in the background and you're fighting off enemies. I loved the way they did that. So again, it's not like everything in this game is ass. Like the game does have some good stuff going for it. I feel like Control is it's an okay game. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. I feel like it's a okay game. It's not as bad as some people are making it seem. I've seen mainly people in this wholesome Crumbside community that we're in. I've seen a lot of people slander the freak out of this game. It is not a bad game. It's not a great game. It's an okay game. And I know, again, if you give any game these days anything below a 9, like I just gave this junk a 7, most likely all you heard is this shit is ass. No, I gave it a 7. No, I gave it a 7 because I think it's an okay game. But anyways, yeah, man. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. For the people that bought Control out there, what do you think about Control? Did you like it? Did you love it? You thought it was okay? Was it trash? Let me know what you guys thought about Control. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I wonder how much store credit I could get for this junk at GameStop before them suckers go out of business.